All right, today we're going to install the Acuity Shift Bushing Upgrade for the RSX. We're going to upgrade the OEM shifter bushings on the shift linkage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where that is. So the car, here's the engine bay, as you can see there. And what we're going to change out are these shift bushings here. These old ones, about 105,000 miles on it. We're gonna go ahead and take those out, change it out, and just make sure it just drives as intended. So right over here is the Acuity Shift Linkage Bushing Upgrade kit that you can get from them. This is for the DC5, so the part number is 1917. It comes in a few retaining rings, the bushings themselves, and 2 cotter pins, and that's pretty much what you get. This is supposed to make it a lot better when you're driving and you're shifting, especially an older car like mine, which is like 100,000 miles. It will help with just kind of make it firmer and tighter. There's different companies that make it. I chose Acuity just because I've heard really great things about them, and some of their bushings are still rubber, even though they're spherical bushings. And so this is gonna help just make sure it stays intact and has a long life. But this is kind of what you get. Out of the box, you just see I opened it. Gives you everything you need here. The bushings in its own separate bag, a nice sticker here, and then it gives you another bag for 2 of the spherical retaining rings, and then also the cotter pins. So you don't have to keep your old cotter pins unless you want to, but generally it's best practice to replace them. So I'm gonna open those up so you guys can see what you get out of the box. And this is everything you get. You're gonna get the one large spherical bushing, as you see here. And then you're gonna get the smaller solid bushing right there as well. And as you can see, you get a little closer, it has a little purple. It's kind of that metal spherical bushing itself. And then this bottom says is this side down. So just for the folks that are installing and trying to wonder which side do you install it on, that's kind of what you do there. And then it gives you 2 retaining clips. So these are the 2 retaining ring clips there. And then these are those cotter pins that you're gonna slide up top. They're both the same size, so you can use either one. But these retaining rings correspond to the bushings as you see there. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the car again. So the first thing we're going to do is take out the battery as well as the intake box. For some of you, you might not have to take out the battery, but I need that extra room, so I'm going to take it out and just make it a lot easier for me to get into it. We're going to start by removing the negative wire. All right, so we have everything removed, the intake box and the battery, and so this is what we're going to be working with today. We're going to be using a needle nose pliers, removing these cotter pins. We're going to take out these shifter bushings, and then we can start taking a look at it, seeing how we can remove it. We're also going to take off these push pins here. We're just going to take some pliers and pull them out just so he has some easier access to manipulate the shifter linkage and shifter cables. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I removed the cotter pins, as you can see in my hand right here. So we're not going to need these anymore. Usually when you take cotter pins out, you need to throw it away anyways. So these are going to go in the trash. And another thing I took out were these washers that sat right on top. There's like a little pretty worn down plastic piece and then a metal piece too. So we're gonna keep those for now. We're probably not going to use it because the Acuity ones, you really don't need them. But we're going to take a look at that in a second. What we need to do right now is actually remove these two clips because we need a little bit more room to manipulate the cable. So I'm going to grab some pliers to see what I can do to take it out, and we'll go from there. So as you can see, I took pretty much a screwdriver. I was able to tuck it underneath this lip here and just kind of wiggle it out. I think when I come back with it, I'll probably have to clean it up, but also like probably tap it down with the mallet. But that should get it back in, so we can reuse it, since these things are hard to come by, and I'm not really looking to replace it right now. I'm gonna work on the other one. So if you saw the quick video / time lapse, you're able to see kind of how I took it out. Pretty much these clips, I'm gonna keep them, but I pretty much took a screwdriver, kind of went with it in the backside, and then pried it out slowly up into the point where I can just get right under it and just kind of quickly wiggle it out. When we put it back, we're gonna have to get a mallet, but perfectly fine. What we're gonna do now is just take off the main shift linkage. You can see I already took one off and just kind of slid it out at its base there. So this one, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna pull out the bottom by pulling out the top, pushing it back, and it'll just slide right out of the unit there. So now we're gonna work on safely getting the existing bushings out. And that's actually the more difficult part. You can actually go on the Acuity YouTube website and they'll show you how to take it out safely. But it's pretty much, you want to hold this base here and stick a screwdriver all the way in. And the goal is not to bend this metal part. And that's the more difficult part. And so what you're gonna do is put your hand on it and just slowly turn. And you're gonna slowly back the bushing out. So you can see I'm at the point where the linkage, the bushing is just sliding out slowly. And that's what we want. And that one is out. And we're gonna do the same thing with the smaller one. And you might need a smaller screwdriver for that one, because this bigger one doesn't go in perfectly. And we're gonna hold it and back it out slowly. So before I install the new Acuity Shift Link bushings, just a quick comparison of the OEM one. Generally the OEM ones are pretty good, but over time it just softens and the rubber just kind of deteriorates, so your shifts aren't as crisp. So reinstalling and putting in the Acuity Shifter bushing is as follows. You're just going to take the main one, the spherical one, and just put it top side down. So this one says this side down, so we're going to put the Acuity letters kind of right up top. I'm going to face this part out, and then you're going to put a snap ring right below it. If you can see the little grooves here, that's the snap ring that you're going to slide just kind of around it, and it's going to hold it in place from the bottom. So we're going to do the first one now. So it's as simple as taking the existing shift linkage, putting it on top, and just firmly pressing down. So you can see that that's finally inserted. And we're gonna take the other one as well. And as you can see that when I inserted the bushing initially on the smaller side, it came from here. So I'm gonna just insert this smaller bushing along the corner there. And that one just pushes right in as well. So now the important part is actually installing the snap ring that keeps it locked in place so that it just doesn't come apart. All right, so the snap ring was harder to film, but basically if you could spread the snap ring around, it'll just kind of guide itself directly into this groove here. So holding both ends of these out and just sliding in will get the snap ring in where you want it to be. So this snap ring is a little different from the larger one, where it's like kind of a double. And so we're just gonna have to start on one end and work our way around. Okay, once you get one around, you just kind of stick your finger nail or your finger and just push all the way through, and it's just gonna wrap its way around so it snaps together. All right, so that's in. Success there. So you can see here that the room we have for the thicker snap ring or the double snap ring is a lot easier, and so I was able to get that in pretty easy. Now we're just gonna stick this back here. All right, so that snaps right in, as you can see there. And then we're gonna just put this this cotter pin from the top side down. And that's pretty much it. So we pretty much installed the Acuity bushings. Now, what we wanna do is return, as you can see here, I'm gonna push it forward and just return those pins back. So I'm gonna put these clips back to the car, and it's gonna be as simple as pushing forward and just taking a mallet and just knocking it down. So I'm gonna do that now. You can see that's locked in there. I do the same with the other one. Cool. So once I get that in, I'm gonna use the mallet just to kind of tap it down. All right, so we have the Acuity Shifter Bushings installed. So I'm gonna go in the car and just kind of run through 1 through 6 in reverse, and you guys will be able to see kind of what that looks like and how the Acuity bushings work with it. So here's just the quick run through with the clutch in. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then reverse. Everything works good. It feels a little tighter, but we'll actually know when we go out for a little test drive. So this concludes the installation of the Acuity Shifter Bushing Upgrade. So I installed the kit, which include the cotter pins, the snap rings, as well as the 2 bushings, the spherical purple Acuity bushing there, and as well as the hardened solid bushing there. So that's the installation for this. I'm gonna take it out for a test drive, and I'll let you guys know how it feels in the future videos. because I just want to know how it feels over the next few weeks. But this is going to be part one of the future installs of the bushing kit. I'm actually going to buy an Acuity Shifter box, which is why I got the Acuity Shifter Bushings. So I want to see how that feels first, and I'm going to move my way into just upgrading the shifter box itself. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel for those that have done it. This has been a really fun process, just restoring this RSX, and it's coming together really nicely. So if you look at one of my previous videos, I installed the Mugen strut tower bar, did a lot of whole suspension refreshes and interior Type R conversions stuff, and now we're just getting into some of the fun stuff, just kind of upgrading the shifter bushings and just improving drivability.